Welcome back, all you Minties. This is Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. I'm Adjectiveless Alicia.
I'm the Uncanny Omar. That is the Astonishing Melanie. And who are you?
I'm Miss Lydia, and today we're going to be reviewing the Mighty Marvel Masterworks Captain America Volume 1, so stay tuned.
The family reviews are back for the Mighty Marvel Masterworks. Today we are reviewing Captain America Volume 1.
Yes. Collecting what, Alicia? What does this collect?
59, issues 59 through 77 of Tales of Suspense.
When the imposter is sus. Too much. What is that you all play?
Among Us.
Among Us. So, yes. This was the title before it was known as Captain America. So, Tales of Suspense was a
and
comic.
Iron Man's always with him. Well, I mean, not with him, but the story is in the same comic.
Yes. So they were like, it was an anthology of Captain America and Iron Man and Tales to Astonish. And then, Tales of Suspense. And then, of course, they both got their own magazine, their own comic book. So this is after the event of the Captain America returning in Avengers number 4. So he was a Golden Age character. Marvel said, hey, maybe we can bring him back. And they did in the pages of Avengers 4, which we did a family review of. And now he's, they wanted him to go have his own solo adventures. So that's what this is. So you have Stan Lee writing it, Jack Kirby co-plotting, and, of course, doing the artwork. But you also have the artwork in here of Dick Ayers and George Tuska and John Romita. But Miss Lydia, why don't you tell me a little bit about these stories? What kind of comics are in here?
So, of course, all of them have to do with Captain America, since, this is what the comic is about. A little bit later on, it goes back into the past, so Bucky joins him, usually on the adventures. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, of course, since when we're introduced to Captain America, he's fighting in a war, lots of the enemies have to do with the Nazis.
Okay. So we have things taking place in the past. Do we have any stories taking place in, what is known as present time here?
Yeah, there is a couple.
Okay. And most of his enemies are Nazis, yes, but who ends up leading those particular characters?
Let's go.
My girl. And who else shows up from his past?
Baron Mordo?
So close. Doctor Strange would be proud of you. Baron Zemo, that's right. Baron Zemo shows up.
Baron Zemo?
Zemo. No, it's Zemoth. Who also happens to be a villain from his past. So, Alicia, what kind of modern day stories are in here? Well, modern for this particular collection.
There's one with, the Avengers. Okay, so he's, telling the story of one of the stories, and...
Is he talking to Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch?
Yeah, and then he goes to bed, and then he thinks about the Red Skull, saying, in 20 years ago, that in 20 years that the sleeper will awake, and then he realizes it's 20 years later, so...
Oh, yeah. Hey,
so wait, what does that mean, the sleeper will awake?
So
it's our favorite story.
Oh, okay.
Mine.
Mine too.
The sleepers are these 3 different robots that all connect together, and 3 different people have to awake them, doing certain things. They awake.
And
okay.
I like the second form. The third form is just silly. I like the second form.
Who's your favorite... Wait, you're talking about your favorite story, I'm sorry. Yeah. What about you, Miss Lydia? What was your favorite story in this?
I'd say, the Dr. Cedric and, his sister Celia, he's, kidnapped Captain America and, he's working, of course, with the Nazis.
Mm-hmm. So we have villains from the past showing up. What about new villains?
There's Batroc. He's my favorite villain.
He's your favorite villain of all time? That guy?
No,
that guy.
From...
The Leaper.
From
this collection?
Yeah.
Why is he your favorite?
Because he's interesting.
Why is he interesting?
Yeah, why is it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Well,
it's because he's French, or he likes to just jump around?
Yeah.
Jump around. Jump around.
He's He's really, he doesn't sit still, so he reminds me a lot of you.
Yeah, that's you.
That's why you like Batroc. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the artwork and come back and talk about the stories and the dialogue and give our final score.
So we should look at my direct market cover because it is drawn by Jack Kirby and Dick Ayers.
Mine's better because it's drawn by Michael Cho.
Oh, you actually got his name right.
It's
Good
newer.
job. It's newer.
Yeah.
That is right. This is the standard edition cover, and this is the direct market cover. Everything on the inside is identical. However, the spines on the books also differ. And there you go. The direct market cover... Sorry, almost switched your both sides up. The direct market cover only available at your local comic book shop or places like cheapgraphicnovels.com, Walt's Comic Shop, Organic Price Books, Library Collectors, In-Stock Trades, those places. Even the backs are different. So, Volume 1, that's what the standard edition has. This one here saying this is Volume 13 of a special printing of the collector's edition. So we're just going to be looking at one of these. Let's look at the standard edition cover to look at the inside. Alright, girls, let's talk about the artwork here. So, here's the credits. You have Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Dick Ayers, George Tuska, and John Romita, and all the inkers down there. Letters, editors. Unfortunately, back then, they didn't give credit to the colorist. Do y'all know why?
Why?
Because sometimes the artist did the colors, like the pencilers and the inkers did the colors. But then later on, they started actually crediting the colorist, and sometimes the credits are known as just unknown. But this is what the artwork looks like. What do you all think of Jack Kirby's art in this particular book?
I think it's good. Especially I think my favorite is in just Avengers, like all the facial expressions. That's my favorite artwork of his. But I still like this artwork here. It's good.
So you like Avengers better?
Yeah, I think that's my favorite. Out of all the Mighty Marvel Masterworks, I think it has my favorite art in it.
Well, out of all the ones we've done, I think you've only mainly seen his art. Him and Steve Ditko's are the two big artists on the books. Here is Enter the Red Skull. What about you, Alicia? What do you think of Jack Kirby's art through this particular volume here?
I like it because, I like the lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Usually in the covers, of them,
Yeah, they used the different shading for sure in the covers than they did the internal
Yeah.
art. I've always liked that too. Almost looks a little computer generated. It's kind of crazy with the separation there. And
I think most of the time Captain America has the same facial expression, which is not that expressive.
you mean patriotic? That is a very
Well, that one
patriotic.
he's got a little bit more expression.
He's looking patriotic to me. All right. I think Captain America and Red Skull have the best expressions out of it. Is this the one you were talking about?
Yeah.
Where he wakes up? And it was only a dream. Or was it? Later on we get some crazy characters. Let's get to this Batroc story. There he is. There's your dude. So this is the guy that you end up liking, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, he's pretty cool. Alright, let's look at the extras. So we have original Jack Kirby art right there. And an original piece of art right there. Can you imagine owning that? That would be so cool. And other Mighty Marvel Masterworks by artist who? Who's the artist, Alicia?
Michael Cho again.
Michael Cho again. That's his full name. That's right. Alright, let's give our final thoughts.
Alright, so now that we looked at the artwork, we're going to talk about what we thought of stories. What did you think, Alicia?
Well, the dialogue, I guess it was okay. It wasn't like the Daredevil where he just said everything he was doing.
I
But,
disagree. I think he did here too while he was fighting, right?
well, a little, but not as much.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Lydia, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I like the dialogue. It's not outstanding or it's not terrible. It's just okay, and I still like it.
Is it dated though? Does it come off as hokey? Does it come off as cheesy?
Kind of a little bit cheesy, but it's not terribly bad.
I'd like to address something you mentioned earlier, Lydia, about how the stories are written after in '63. So World War I and II has already happened, as we mentioned. He is fighting Nazis. There's an issue that actually is my second favorite, where he goes to Vietnam because he's trying to save his old buddy who's a helicopter pilot that was a prisoner of war. And I like it because it is not like he's unarmed. It's him wanting to barter for the trade of the helicopter pilot, and it's not about the war itself, but about Captain America trying to save his friend, and so he has to show feats of strength, which is part of Captain America too, right? And bravery, and he has to go through these obstacles in order to get his friend back.
I think my favorite story in this particular collection is the retelling of his origin. Because back then, in the 60s, I can imagine like being a kid that got this particular issue of Tales of Suspense, and I'm like, oh, I don't know anything about this Captain America guy. I know he was around in the 50s. So it was really cool that the second issue where he appears in Tales to Astonish, or Tales of Suspense, I'm sorry, that they redo his origin. And, I mean, not really modernizing it. It's still pretty cool because it's Jack Kirby drawing it, because he's the one that drew it in the Golden Age. But I thought it was cool that they kind of gave it a little bit more of a twist in there. So that was nice. That's my favorite story in this particular collection. And I hope these continue because there are some really cool stories that happen in Captain America eventually. Now, we talked about the art and the stories and the dialogue. Let's do it. Family. Rating time. Ladies first. Miss Alicia, out of 10, what would you give this book?
A 6.5.
6.5. Fair enough. Miss Lydia.
I'd give it a 7.
7 out of 10. Astonishing Melanie?
If I have to.
You have to.
I guess a 6. I like the fights.
I appreciate that this is a part of history. I became a big fan of Captain America many years later after this with Mark Gruenwald's run. But big part of history, and Jack Kirby, Stan Lee working together. Not my favorite stories that they did together, but still fun. So for me, 6 out of 10. And that's it. That was our rating. Hopefully you all are checking out these wonderful pieces of comic book history collected in this format, not just for youngsters, but for people with good vision, too, that are older.
You can get reading glasses.
They're
like
called
Omar and I
progressives.
have.
They're called progressives. They're not called reading glasses anymore.
I love them.
Ugh.
Thank you everybody for watching Near Mint Condition. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. We also have an entire playlist dedicated to our family reviews. And keep on watching.
And don't forget to turn on notifications, the bell.
Thank you so much. And we're also on Patreon and Spreadshop. Great ways to support the channel. We'll have a lot more family reviews. So everyone, is that it? Ladies?
Stay minty.
Stay minty.
Stay minty.
Sure.
Stop.
3. Will you two stop fighting?
What kind of...
This is Mighty Marvel Masterworks, not manga or... What do you all like to review?
What kind of...
Did you say your mom? Mm-hmm. My mom. Mimu. That's what you're talking about?
What kind of thumbnail? I want to address how... Wait, cut.
It's Captain America. Why aren't we saluting? Captain America Volume 1. And you say...
Stop.
You say, count down
I'm
4.
trying to figure out the best way to have her.
Alright.
Okay.
Welcome all you minties to Near Mint. Welcome back all you minties. This is Near Mint to...
Okay. Good job. Everyone, good job. Mommy forgot to say I'm
I did it. I was waiting for Lydia.
No, you go next, then me, and then her, because she was leading.
All
into the
right,
next
doesn't
thing.
matter.
Alright. This isn't a quiz.
What?
Okay. Were you at least listening? I said, who of his villains show up in
Yeah.
modern time?
The family reviews are back for the Mighty